What's up, YouTube? Happy Friday, CHF here, bringing you another episode of Coaching Handheld Football, and not a ton of stuff in the news today, other than they did release the career tribute, Jason Witten, 119 overall, tight end with +2 truck, +2 catch to the squad. And when we take a look at this card, he's a little slow, but I'm sure once you train him up and with all of the other things there, I am sure he's going to be a monster. Also, the 91 jump is a little surprising as well, especially since, you do have a lot of jump balls to the tight end normally. But I'm sure he's a good card. I'm sure his hidden stats are probably pretty good as well. But since there's not a lot in the news today, guys, I figured to save time for the actual stream tomorrow night, I figured this video is just going to be my draft. And I'm going to give you kind of my thoughts on the draft and what I'm actually taking here. So we will go through here. Don't need to see all of these things, so we're going to go ahead and start it. And the same way I draft most of the time. So round one, let's see. Really nothing good here, so I'm actually going to take just a middle linebacker. Hope I push him and end up pushing him out to the 3-4 spot. So we're going to go ahead and throw him in. Round two, we have 4 choices here. And these gold rounds, I personally like to take offensive line members there. So we're going to take Charles Leno Jr., Round 3, hopping up here, we are going to look, and it looks like we have an opportunity to take, actually, you know what, DT, I'm going to take a DT here, and I'm going to take Solomon Thomas. I think he's got better stats. Yeah, he's got better speed there, and of all the gold DTs, he's probably the best one, so I'm going to go ahead and take him there in our 3rd round. Moving on to the elite rounds here. We could talk about kind of my overall strategy. Sam Bradford, I'm going to risk it and not take him here, even though the other positions are really not that great. But looking here, I don't really tend to want a wide receiver or a halfback, but of these choices, I think I'm going to take, that's tough, 2 speed, but a lot higher catch. I'm going to take, I'm going to take Tyreek here. I'm going to take Tyreek Hill. Not really happy about it. I prefer a big defensive draft. So here we go, moving into it. Round 5. Mario Edwards is a little slow there. Not happy with this round either, guys. But I'm actually going to go with Paul Posluszny here. I probably butchered that last name, but it is what it is. And, I do tend to favor defense on these. So here we go. Not going to take the offensive tackle. Not going to take a center. And, yeah, going to take Gerald McCoy. So I actually, as I said, moved Solomon Thomas over, so I got a better DT. Not happy with the draft so far. Don't really have anything in the secondary. Looking at Gates, I do tend to want a tight end as my normal receiver. But in this case, I think I'm going to start working on my secondary. Still got a lot of rounds to go and got the bonus round, so I'm gambling a little bit here. But since I have a wide receiver, I'm going to take it. And here we go. We have, boy. That Linval Joseph would be a pretty decent card, but I think I'm actually going to take Brian Cushing here because I've already got 2 DTs and I don't want to waste a pick. Since I don't have another middle linebacker, I will take a better one there. And here we go, Case Keenum or a running back. You know what? This may come back to bite me, but Case Keenum, you are good enough. You are good enough, so I am going to take Case Keenum as my quarterback. Would have preferred to get a really good one, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Not going to take another wide receiver. So here we go. We've got, let's see, 2 corners, relatively similar stats. I'm actually going to take Jonathan Joseph just because he's slightly higher, so it's going to push the overall higher, make my critical counters hopefully happen a little bit more. Here we go. That's a slow defensive end. I wouldn't mind getting some defensive ends to get a better pass rush, but it looks like I'm going to be getting a safety here. And looking at the stats, Ricardo Allen, you are the guy. So here we go, moving on to round number 12. We are going to be picking, let's see, looks like we're getting more secondary options, which I'm okay with here. And let's go ahead and finish it out and finish our safeties. So let's see. One speed is not going to be a huge difference between McCourty and Wilcox. So I think I'm actually, his movement's a little lower, but his zone coverage, his man coverage, play recognition is better. I'm going Devin McCourty here in round 12, finishing off my core 4 of the main secondary and moving in here. And boy, this is an interesting round. Let's see, Adrian Claiborne, not a bad choice. However, I like to have a stacked secondary. And Gronk is on my real-life team. He's 6'7". He's fully maxed here. And honestly, I'm going to go ahead and take it. Continue to build out my secondary. I hope for a solid tight end here in the MVP round. And let's see. I wanted it. I will take it. So Julius Thomas, welcome to the squad. And that gives us a decent team. I'm overall pretty happy with that squad. Let's take a look at the overtime rounds. See what we can bring in here. Jared Cook was an absolute monster for me when I had him there. But let's go ahead and finish it out so that even in dime, we've got a full secondary on the field. And hope I don't get any more DBs. And let's see. You know what? We're not going to take a center. Don't need a wide receiver 2. But this would actually push into our slot receiver since it's a second tight end. And I actually would prefer someone in the slot position. So I'm going to take a second tight end there on offense. So moving into the final MVP round, let's see what we get. Kind of a weak round. Don't particularly need a wide receiver. Already have a quarterback. But since I don't need a wide receiver, it looks like Case Keenum, you're not going to have to be the guy who goes with it. 1% doesn't help a ton. But as a Bucs fan, welcome to the squad, Jameis Winston. So we are going to replace him. Pretty weak upgrade, but it is slightly better. And this is the final squad that I will be playing with tomorrow. On offense, got Jameis Winston. Going to be throwing that to either Julius Thomas or Tyler Eifert. On defense, we are pretty stacked. Only thing I could have hoped for was a better pass rush, but my secondary is going to be pretty nasty. And considering you have to go 99 yards, I will take a secondary over a pass rush any day of the week, and that's a pretty nasty secondary. So guys, there's my draft. There's the news. Let's go ahead and hop into some coaching. All right, guys, so we're going up against Championship Bound. I'm going up against Bella Papa. So we're going to hop into this, see if we can continue the solid streak that we've been on. Past couple of days, we put up 24, and I feel like we've played Championship Bound like a million times lately. I know I'm overestimating, but we have definitely played these guys a lot. So the score seems to get a little bit closer each time. But let's go ahead and start this thing off with Trips Corner Strike. I'm going to let this come in, but as you can see, we got this this blitz coming in here. So normally you can go to wide receiver 2 here, but in this particular case, I saw that they got jammed right away, so I went ahead and just took it to the slot receiver here and was able to get, decent yards off of the play. Sets up another 1st and 10. So I'm going to go right into post corners here. This is a nickel zone coverage, which is actually counter formation. Counter formation for this play can be a little bit risky. And in a lot of cases, the best thing to do is take the sack. What you can look for is the tight end, where he's running that little, kind of in route. I mean, I guess it's kind of a post route, but it's kind of an in route. It's definitely not a deep post. But if you get a hole in the zone and you hit him right away, you can find that seam. But know that that is a risky throw. Sometimes a linebacker will be there and will jump that play if he drops into that yellow zone up the middle. So just be careful with it, and don't be afraid to just take the sack. Here we go, trips tight end, wide receiver, corner. Ran it a ton of times. We're going to look to either the running back or the tight end. Here we get the tight end on that out route. Sets up another 1st and 10. And we are going to just keep moving down the field, using some long passes. And here we're going to go halfback angle. I'm flipping it like I did the other day. This is actually counter formation here. So we're going to go ahead and let this go. And we just throw it away. By gunning it to the running back, you're usually pretty safe. And we're going to go in with bunch halfback dive here. Once again, nickel zone, counter formation. So here we go, and we just get smacked at the line, running into it back-to-back, 100% hard counter. So it's 3rd and 12. We're going to go motion cross. We've got dime man coverage. We saw the little steps by the cornerbacks here. And against man coverage on motion cross, you just take the scramble here. So here we go. We set our block and immediately roll wide. You want to get pretty far to the side before crossing the line of scrimmage, because the second you cross the line of scrimmage, they're going to come after you. From that standpoint, if you get pretty close to the sideline, you're going to usually be able to pick up more yards and have better separation from the defense. So here we are. We got fullback flare at the goal line. You've seen it here on the channel before. Nice and easy. Walk-in touchdown for our first 6 points on the day. And since we had to burn scramble, we're going to use toss here. And we do get the edge and are in for a nice, easy 8 points. And we're going to go ahead and speed it up, hop right into drive number 2, and see if we can, keep this streak going. Want to have a nice high average for the month, maybe win the $50 that I talked about, that my league is doing. This one's in the end zone, so we fair catch it. And we're going to start it off. Trips corner strike once again. We've got a 4-3 base zone coverage, so we're just reading the cornerback that's lined up across from Mike Evans. If he drops into the flat, we go deep. If he drops deep, we throw to the flat. So here we go. He drops deep. We're going to go to the flat. We hit Baldwin and try and get some yards after the catch. We're able to spin out of it, but someone was there, so it sets up a 2nd and 1. And we're going to go ahead and go with empty trip stick here. We've got a dime zone coverage here, so against zone, just go to the running back. This is actually counter formation. In this case, it wasn't countered, so we're able to just get away with a pretty decent gain there. And we're going to go right into post corners. Demonstrated this play, I believe it was yesterday, but wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2 can get wide open on this play, and it can be just a massively deep bomb. I tend to favor wide receiver 1 because I've got a right-handed quarterback. You do have to set your blocks, but there we go. One-on-one, lob it up to Mike Evans, and we are in for our 2nd touchdown on the day. And since we didn't use our scramble, we're going to go bunch spacing. It is potentially countered here, and unfortunately, the tackle got blocked instead of the end, and we drop our 2-point conversion there. So it will not be a perfect day today, but we will still try and score on our 3rd and final drive here. So we're just going to speed it up, get right into the kickoff, and we're going to start right at the 25. So we're going to go trips corner strike once again. So here we go. We're just going to go ahead and run this one, and we hit Baldwin again. He can't hang on to it, so we're going to set up a flipped empty trip stick here. And this time we've got dime man. I don't know if you saw it, but over there covering Evans, he took a little step. That's the easiest indicator of man defense, is if the corners don't move at all, it's zone. If they take a little step right when they line up, it's man. And against man on this play, scrambling is the way to go. So here we go. We're going to roll out, take the free scramble, and look at this side of the field. Wide open. And nobody is catching Baker Mayfield all the way down for a 75-yard rush. And since we didn't use scramble, we've got bunch spacing. We've got a nickel man coverage here, but against nickel, hold straight up on the joystick or the analog stick and snap the ball and just hit scramble as soon as it's done. And there we go. 22 points on the day. So it wasn't a perfect day like the last 2 days, but 22, not too shabby. But if you like this video or what I'm trying to do here on the channel, go ahead and hit that like button. If you are new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you want to see what I drop, when I drop it, go ahead and hit that bell icon to join the notification squad. I love you guys. You are the best audience ever. I hope to see you tomorrow night in Saturday Night CHF. My weekly stream should be around 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Hope to see you tomorrow. CHF out.